Welcome home, Raiders. Tonight, after hours and hours of searching, playing mini games, running around with orbs and stuff, I know exactly the purple-haired game developer we should all be looking at. As Convert to Raid presents the Battlenet News. Hello, everybody. I don't know what was going on with the music there, but we'll continue like nothing ever happened. From the Battlenet News broadcast bunker in Minneapolis, Minnesota, today is September 5th, 2017, and it is now 10:13 in the p.m. Central Time. And thank you, as always, for joining us from all around the Blizzard universe. My name is Pat Crane. I am your host of the show, and with me, as always, the players are here. And first up, we'll go to our man from, I don't know, the Asparagus Initiative and Adults with Jorbs. It's Sharku!
Other stuff, all these things. I've been looking up how to pronounce the new zone this entire time, and I still can't find anything exact. Google is not helping me out with that.
The Google pronunciation thing is not working.
Yeah,
for you?
they're not. Ian pronounces it one way, Velen pronounces it another, and John Horseman's just got me all confused, and I don't know.
You keep looking. It's a good thing that John is not actually here.
I know, right?
For the show, because then he would just be messing with you the entire time.
I know.
Instead, from the Lagging Balls podcast, we have a return of Thyst. Welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
It's nice to have you back.
Really?
It is.
Just saying that?
It is. No, I like your views and opinions.
Oh, thank you. Well, here's one. You can trust Ian. We've seen that. But can we trust Velen? Can we trust John? I don't know.
No, we can't trust John. We know this much.
I know we can't trust John.
We cannot trust John.
Jury's still out on Velen.
He seemed really nice, but then last week he kind of squinted his eyes weird, and I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if we should. He's getting a little jumpy.
Sketchy.
His weird purple eyes that freaked me out in that opening cinematic for 7-3. You know what I'm talking about?
Right?
Looking around and they're like, what's he looking at? Where's pupils?
Looking at me?
You're looking at me?
Well, welcome everybody from around the WoW world and beyond, and welcome to our chat room as well, and welcome players to the show. As always, we start off by kind of going around and seeing what people have been doing today and last week. I know that 7.3 is probably big for you guys. Shark, have you been playing a lot of patch 7.3?
I have actually. When the patch dropped, I got into it. We've been raiding on Asparagus Initiative every week since we started. So school has started this week, so my job is like, whoa. So I haven't had a whole lot of time to play. But once 7.3 came in, I have had a lot more time to play, and I've actually been enticed to play. There's a lot of really great stuff going on and storyline stuff, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. It's just it's such a cool time to be playing the game right now because we're learning about the world that we are so in love with, on top of, getting ready to kill a bunch of new bosses in a few months. So, or a few months. But yeah,
I think it's,
I've been doing that.
How much time do we have until the raid hits?
Now, if we're doing it mathematically, it's been 11 weeks between each patch, and that includes the half patches. So it should be 9 weeks then from today that we are. So a little over. That's just over 2 months.
It's a couple months.
That's reasonable.
Just over 2 months. We should be in patch 7.5. So as long as they keep, and I don't see why they wouldn't keep the time. I mean, it's been like clockwork this whole time. So it's really, really cool that we know what to expect. We know when to expect it. And we're getting kind of a rhythm for it. We're feeling it out ourselves. So
that has been weird. I know that Ro over at Realm Maintenance, he was talking about the 77-day cycle that was happening.
Like clockwork. It's nuts. It's great because we don't have to guess anymore or wait, hopefully. I don't know, because we haven't had this going in between 2 expansions. So
that's true.
Who knows what's going to happen with that? Maybe it would be insane for it to be, because that means it would be just another 11 weeks after 7.5 that we get a new expansion patch.
Maybe. And that's like a real testament to how hard everybody's been working on the patches lately, because Blizz doesn't release anything unless it's fun, unless it works.
Right.
So,
and
if they can release it like this, then they're working really hard.
The cool part is that since Warlords was away, thankfully, but between Warlords and now, they've built all these different systems in place. There's this background of things that is in place where they can kind of modify on the fly to a certain degree. I mean, they can have the big patches and they can have these little small patches. They've kind of been methodical in how those work, and even with changing class spells and stuff like that, as changing the balance game, they've been pretty methodical about all that stuff and how that works together. It's kind of like they've like up to Warlords was like just piling on all of this stuff. And then during Warlords, maybe it was during that 14 months dry spell.
What are you talking about?
That we had between the end of Warlords.
They could catch up.
What about the? But maybe they took apart these layers a little bit and said, okay, how can we really, do this better?
Yeah, Blizz always learns from their mistakes.
Yep.
Clearly.
Crickets.
Clearly.
It's true.
No, they do.
But they do. They do a good job of that most of the time.
Well, and then the pendulum swings the other way.
And then they make
hard.
brand new mistakes.
Yep. Exactly. I mean, it's kind of one of those things. Thyst, how about you? What have you been playing lately?
World of Warcraft, obviously.
Right.
Yeah. So much raiding, so many Mythic Plus dungeons, so much PvP. 7.3 it reeks with content. Just it's fraught with it.
Right.
It's wonderful.
Fraught with content. Yep.
Yeah.
That's it.
And the best part is it's so juicy and ripe that I've been experiencing an influx of old friends coming back and friends that I've had IRL, those kind of friends, trying the game for the first time. I had a friend that I played with 10 years ago come back who hadn't played since Wrath because the allure of 7.3 was so tantalizing, I guess. So,
right.
Yeah.
Well, that's really amazing. Cool. That's awesome. And you were talking before the show and you were like, well, yeah, I'm on a couple of raid teams now. And
2 raid teams. My main team is 8 of 9 heroic. We've more or less got everything up to Avatar on farm. We can get it down within 1 raid night. But Avatar's no joke. And neither is Kil'jaeden, obviously.
Sure.
But that's good.
That is good.
Yeah, that's right where we are with the Asparagus Initiative too.
Nice.
We killed Avatar, and then we killed him again 2 polls the next week. And then the following week, we wiped on Avatar all night long and never downed him. And I was like, did we forget how to play the video game, fellas? Let's get it together. But
isn't that strange when that happens?
It's nuts. And then the next week it was down in 3 or 4 polls, no big deal, and we were back on working on Kil'jaeden progression again. And it's just man. But yeah, both of those bosses.
A mental block or something?
I don't know. And there have been some trials kind of coming in and out too. I'm not blaming them, but just the team cohesiveness. Yeah. That's one person makes a mistake and isn't mind reading what everybody else is doing with the swirlies on the ground. You've got to know exactly where you're going and where everyone else on the raid team is going. So, but it's just anyway. Yeah, that's. I have no idea how we're going to get over the Kil'jaeden curve. And good luck to your raid as well.
Oh, thank you. Good luck to you guys. It'll be fine. I'm sure it'll be easier next week when we have all sorts of new gear from 7.3 and relic stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
All that.
Apparently,
stuff.
if you get to Illidan consistently, that's when you're close to a kill. That's what I've heard. If you can get through phase 2.
Yeah, I think we're there. It's mostly just been those kind of pulls where it's just like, okay, everybody's dying. We'll just keep going and try to get like a feel for the fight. Just keep doing. Then like 2 people are up. It's like, should we wipe? Like, are we still learning? It's like,
let's go. I'm learning everything.
How much can you learn when only one guy is still alive?
Yeah, you got the tank.
When your raid lead says don't bother pre-potting, then you know it's okay. This is a practice run.
Stop dropping feasts. That's one. Just stop dropping feasts, guys. We're wasting money.
Right.
Don't bother.
Oh man. So lots of 7.3 stuff going on, and that does seem to be kind of what everybody else is doing in our community that I've been able to see. There was a lot of 7.3 like all week long. There was a lot of frustration over some parts of it. There was some confusion. There was some like, oh, what does this mean? Type of stuff over there. And we'll get into all that stuff in just a minute. I do want to talk about a couple of things that happened recently, and one thing that happened last night, and then one thing that's gonna happen later. So last week, actually, for the show, I put in a little call to action for helping out Hurricane Harvey victims and so on. And last night, we actually pulled together and did a CTR community Hurricane Harvey relief fundraiser stream for Team Rubicon. And we were like, let's just do like a 4-hour stream. Let's try to help out people where we can and all that kind of stuff. And we actually ended up exceeding our goal and getting almost $1,500 in 4 hours. Whoop. And of course, I have the sound on too low. There we go. Now it's up. So thank you to all the people that donated. Thank you guys to whoever, all the people that joined us in game to have some fun and watch the stream and all that kind of stuff. And the campaign is still live until September 30th. You can still donate to Team Rubicon. Just if you go to our Twitter, that's probably going to be the best way to find it, because I didn't put up a short link. I forgot. I'll get it. We'll get it going for next week. It'll be fine. But it's still up until September 30th, and you can help out. It's really, really awful, all the stuff that's going on down there. And now we're preparing for Hurricane Irma in Florida.
Yay.
So to all of our friends that are affected by these storms, we are thinking of you. So there. On a much, much lighter note, much lighter, if you're in the Minnesota area, we're also going to be doing a little mini Minnesota meetup. And I'm not sure if I'm going because it's Renfest. And people will try to pressure me into wearing a kilt.
Like Ren and Stimpy?
No. Renaissance Festival.
Oh.
What's your problem with kilts?
I don't know.
Is it your legs?
Yeah, I have bad knees.
You just own that, I've heard that you have gorgeous legs, dancer legs.
I'm sure I do.
Ballerina legs. And,
Yep. That's all true.
And their baby's butt smooth too. Yeah. Like just naturally.
Glistening in the sun.
Right. Mm-hmm. That's it.
It's a sight to behold.
Don't be ashamed. It's okay. You can show me later. It's fine.
Thank you.
Welcome.
So we're going to be doing that Renfest thing September 30th. So the same day that we end the donations for the Harvey relief stuff is the same day that we have the Minnesota meetup. Just coincidence that it happens, but that's the way it goes. And that's in Shakopee, Minnesota, or Shakopee, as one of the announcers at Disneyland said. It was really sad. I have a story about that. Which is it? It's Shakopee.
Okay.
Not Shakopee.
Shakopee.
Well, they don't know how to pronounce the city that Disneyland is in either. Kissimmee, Florida, or Kissimmee, Florida.
That's Disney World. Yep. It's same thing.
Or Disney World. Yeah, sorry, wrong Disney.
That's all right.
They're all in the same place.
Any of these.
That's right.
You've never heard of Kissimmee? It's a lot of fun.
I'm foreign. I'm sorry.
Well, there you go.
She's Canadian. We have to forgive her.
Womp womp. And I forgive you guys because that's what I do.
I feel that's her thing. She's the one with the forgiveness.
That's okay. Don't worry about it.
We're Americans. We make mistakes loud and proud.
I don't know.
That's
Being
okay,
from
too.
Minnesota, I feel very close to Canada, and I also feel sorry about that.
Yeah, it is
sorry.
kind of your hat in a sense.
We are moving on to the news. Because it's time for the news. Say, before we actually start this, I have a story because it all fits in. It all ties in.
Story time with Pat Crane.
Story time. So last week I was telling everybody about how I went to Blizzard HQ the week before. It was super fun. Had a great time. There was one thing that was confusing when I went there, and I was just like, all right, whatever. And I wanted to wait until this week to tell you the story. I was trying to meet up with all the people that I know over at Blizzard, and met up with a lot of people, not necessarily everybody, because Gamescom was going on at the same time, so it was really tough and couldn't see everybody. But I did manage to contact Celestalon.
Ooh.
Yeah, Celestalon. And he was like, oh, I was taking a tour of Blizzard campus, and he was like, oh, where are you at? And I took a picture of where we were at, and he's like, I know exactly where you are. So he hunted us down and gave us all a big hug, and he said, make sure to watch out for my stuff in 7.3. Make sure to do it. Make sure to watch out for it. And I was like, all right, okay, whatever. Yeah, I'll make sure to do that. I'll make sure to look out for the one thing that Celestalon did in 7.3. There's so much content,
stuff.
right?
The one thing.
Yeah, right. The one thing. But then I found out what that was. And it was the Lucid Nightmare Mount.
Oh, God.
And this thing was super frustrating. Thyst, I know that you probably know kind of what was going on with the what is the Treasure Hunters? It's not Treasure Hunters Discord. What's the Discord? Secrets. WoW Secrets.
Secrets. Yep. Yep.
What was going on?
Well, these are the guys in 7.2. They helped us find the Mind Worm, which was really fun, and it wasn't that hard. It was difficult on a PvP server, I can tell you, but basically it was just like following directions. But not this time. I mean, yeah, you're following directions, but there's a few wrenches thrown in this time, and I think it took the what is the official name of like the Secret Breakers, the WoW General Secret Finding Discord?
Secret Finders, or I don't know.
Yeah, it took them like a week to figure this out, and I have so much respect for all of those people, like all of the hundreds of people on that Discord who essentially, it's almost like a raid, you know, like like an intellectual raid. It's like, how do we figure this out? We need everybody to help. We need everybody to like contribute, and like everyone to come together to figure this out. And there are so many steps, and they figured it out. And I can give you a brief rundown if you want. On how to get this mount.
Well, I actually have a whole thing where.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I have a whole thing, and we'll maybe I'll save that for a minute because I think I need to catch my breath for this thing because it's.
I do know that while Pat's getting ready for that, the Discord was active with like 20,000 people at one point, with over thousands in the voice chat. Trying to get this thing. It took 20,000 people 4 days to find this thing.
Yeah.
20,000 people all looking for all the clues. 4 days to find it's insane.
It makes you wonder like what would happen if people got together for like IRL reasons to like solve things. Like it's not going to happen because it doesn't matter, but you know, it would be interesting to see. I don't know.
I heard at one point they even went into song, and we have a recording of that. Here it goes.
Oh, really?
Blame, 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 blame. Celestalon, Celestalon, blame, Celestalon, Celestalon.
Actual recording of the of that Discord.
Wow.
It was amazing. They did it all in perfect harmony and everything.
I mean, if they could figure out how to get the mount, I mean.
It sounded like they were all on the same page with that.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm not a hidden secrets guy at all. I have not even attempted this yet. Thyst, you're saying that there's an add-on now for the Lucid Nightmare? Is that right?
Apparently it doesn't work very well.
Okay.
So it's not worth mentioning, but I mean, if you're desperate.
Well, I mean, some people might be. They're like, oh my gosh, I need it.
I think
now.
some people are.
I think
20,000 people, 4 days. That's a lot of man hours.
All right.
I don't know if I want to put the time in.
Right. Well, at least now it's all kind of written out. There's a helpful little
now
guide.
we at least have guides.
There's a cheater thing, so you can cheat your way through it. And I think I'm ready. So for those guys that want to know exactly how to get this mount, I've got kind of the rundown for you. There are spoilers. Just saying. There has to be. There's like here, let me play the spoiler thing. Okay, that's enough of that. It was going to be a much longer sound. I just decided to cut
I became
it short.
slightly alarmed for a very short amount of time.
Right.
Now I feel better.
Right. There are some spoilers. And this one actually comes with music. So here we go. There's the music. All you do is you head down to Dalaran, and then you read a note. And then you go, of course, you go to Ulduar, you kill XT, you pull a lever, and then you light some lights. Because it's like the Muppet Show or something. And then you read the note there that says, hey, you need to go to AQ40. Because we haven't been there in years. But you go to Cthulhu's room and off to the side and you play Bejeweled for a bit. And then you have another note, and then you also buy a mask of some sort. And then you take your mask and you go to Deepholm. You enter a cave, which I'm guessing there's only one of in Deepholm. And then you find a large rock. None there. Right. But then you wear your mask and click on a skull, and then you get another note. Go to Nomergon, and you light up a console and with some numbers, and then you go to Val Shara, and you click on another thing and play another mini game. Super simple, guys. Super simple. And then you go to Kunlai Summit, you click on an urn, and you start the Endless Halls maze. Endless Halls. That sounds great, right? Where you got a color torch, you got a color orb, you got a color rune. You got to match them all up, and it's not just one. Nope, there's 5 of them. So there, good luck there. You get your final note, and then you go to the Karazhan Crypt, Deadwind Pass, and you get your mount. So there.
Is that all?
It's super easy, guys.
Super easy.
Super
really
easy. It'll take you like 20 minutes. Tops.
You're all good. Isn't there a part where you have to so the maze, don't you have to
yeah, it's not.
Isn't it like an
good.
individual maze that you have to figure out for yourself and I don't know. I can't.
It's random for everybody.
So there's no guide. You have to do that yourself because it
Yes.
randomizes.
Yeah. And it's pretty cool because people have been drawing their maps on paper and then taking photos of their maps afterwards. And then
Right.
Celestalon has been retweeting those on Twitter. So his feed is just full of really frustrated people with these horrible drawings.
Right.
Some of them are color coded. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh my God.
Yep. And once again, just because we haven't played it in a long, long time, we should play it again. We'll play the song.
Blame, 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 Celestalon, Celestalon, blame, Celestalon, Celestalon, blame.
So, yeah, I think that everybody should, because that's kind of evil, it seems. Doesn't it?
Kind of. I
Just a
mean,
little
yeah.
bit. Just a little bit.
I think it's cool. I mean, it's something you don't have to do it for the game. It's for a vanity item, and we were talking. It brought 20,000 people together at the same time trying to do this thing. I think that's pretty cool. So I'm gonna give Celestalon thumbs up, buddy. I think that it was a really cool idea. Now, do not do that for like legendaries or something. I know how you guys like are
Don't do it
experimenting
again, okay?
with it. Yeah, like not something that's actually going to up my power level as a player or my character. But yeah, if you want to do that for mounts and pets and stuff, I'm cool. And I think it's a cool idea. And it's a different way to play the game, and they're really good at that over there at Blizzard, trying to find, especially with this game, finding different ways to play it.
Right.
Yeah, it's really cool that Blizz is, with Overwatch also has implemented this like this secret figure outy thingy and it's like you said, a completely different way to play, and that's just yet another layer of things to do in Warcraft that isn't necessarily for everybody, but once people figure it out, other people can try it themselves, and and the difference between LFR and raiding. And
as Winchester pointed out in chat, it's for a ground mount. I mean, it's for a ground mount, guys.
Yeah,
which we're going to be using a lot in the
new areas, right? So another thing that we had for last week that we'll get to this week is we actually had chapter 1 of the story progression, which is the fate of Xe'ra. Is it Xe'ra? Xena.
We could call
Warrior
it Xe'ra.
Princess. But it was Xe'ra. And this was there are spoilers here as well, guys. So here, let me. All right, that's enough. So
why do I feel so guilty every time I hear that noise?
I don't know. There are
so weird.
There may be spoilers here as well, but it's Illidan. Xe'ra wanted Illidan to transform into something more powerful to take on the bads, and he said, "No, I am not repaired."
That's exactly what happened.
You are not prepared.
Right. So that's what he said. I'm guessing. And then stuff just kind of happened. Like some weird stuff happened, and everybody went, "Wow, that's strange."
I can see it being super awkward in that room when Xe'ra was, trying to, she comes back to life, and all of a sudden she's like, "Oh, I want to talk to the Chosen One," and Illidan's like, "What's up?" And she's like,
Let me heal you.
Yeah, I need you to be an agent of the light now. I don't care what you've been doing while I've been gone, so I'm just gonna grab you with my wind chime tentacles and heal your scars up, and you'll look fine. And he's like,
"Come here,
Xe'ra, you don't understand me, okay? Do you know how edgy I am? I know my scars."
Emo.
Yeah, exactly.
She was super creepy though. She's like, "Shh, come here. No, it's okay. Come here. No, no, come here. I'll do it. I'm just gonna turn you into a light crease. Shh, stop. Shh." And I couldn't. I was done.
It's like a child holding a cat against its will.
Oh, it was. Oh, yeah.
Illidan was all, "Stop touching me, man.
Exactly.
Lay your paws off."
He does his I-beam move, and she explodes. Nobody saw that coming.
Nope.
Especially not Illidan, because he can't see.
It wasn't her either. Yeah. She didn't see that.
And he was using I-beam on a single target, and everyone knows, all demon hunters know that's a no. We should not be doing that. That's an AoE move. Come on, guys.
It was completely But then she exploded, and it seemed like Turellian was like momentarily freaked out, but then his golden eyes turned brown, suggesting that perhaps he was being influenced by the light, which suggests that perhaps the light, as we know it, isn't necessarily good. And perhaps if the light isn't good, perhaps void isn't evil.
Wow, you went all sorts of ways on that one. That was nice.
Sorry.
No, that was good. That was good.
I think that's exactly what's happening.
I think
it's exactly what's happening. And it should happen because it's my favorite. That's my favorite kind of story.
And they played with that. They played with that originally with Valen as well, because he did that little squinty thing where he was like, "Oh, you're right. We need to fight these guys to the death." So maybe there is not a correlation between good and bad and light and void.
This should not be surprising to anyone. And I say that because this entire franchise is based around the principle that the good guys aren't always good and the bad guys aren't always bad. From orcs and humans, you have orcs and humans. It's like, we have to save. But then Warcraft 2 comes out, and all of a sudden the orcs are bad, but not really.
Well, everybody,
they're the good guys.
everybody knows, and the reason why I started playing Horde in the first place, when I first came to the game back during Lich King days, was because the Horde are the good guys. We already know.
They're the
we
most
know
sympathetic
this.
races. Yeah,
right.
Mhm.
And then for the guild, I think it was Solaflay said, "Hey, let's play the bad guys." Actually, he didn't say it that way. He said, "Let's play Alliance," and I said, "You mean the bad guys?" And he goes,
Ew.
"What?" So I had to explain it to him.
No, it's totally obvious.
and now we're trapped over here on Airy Peak and
We're
Alliance
playing the
side.
bad guys. It's good to be the bad guys, right?
Yeah, but then you don't get to hang out with me.
We're gonna get email on that one.
Are we? I know exactly. I get it all the time because everybody knows I'm a Horde at heart, and I'm only over here because everybody this is you are all are my people, the CTR guild,
Sure.
you know. But yeah,
Sure.
I miss my Hordes.
Oh.
I'll be waiting when you guys want to join the right team, all right?
I know.
I'll welcome
If I had
you.
the money,
It'll be
I'd probably
fun.
server transfer everything.
I look better in
2 months.
blue, though. I do.
Oh.
So thoughts overall, guys? I mean, this was kind of like one of those things where people were not expecting this move by either
No.
of them. Really,
Not at all.
it was just kind of like, oh, we killed her. Okay, wow.
Yeah, is that okay? Like, and then they're like, oh, well, can you kind of just like broom her up a little bit? Can we just like she's
sweep her
everywhere?
up
Can we
into
just
a pile.
clean that up a little bit? Maybe we can salvage some of her bits. I don't know. But
Right.
but yeah, no, it's just 7.3 has been so cool overall because it, like you said, it's kind of been exploring what is good and what is evil and kind of like testing what we always kind of maybe assumed, like I assumed, but maybe that's not right. And it was interesting too because Illyria reveals that Xe'ra had locked her up for dabbling in the void, and so like I'm hoping to figure that out a little bit more. But it's all kind of alluding to how light and void aren't good and evil. They're just opposites, forces of nature, and that they can't exist without one another. So it's just basically it all comes down to who's wielding which and for what reason, I guess.
Right.
So
Right.
I have it's the Dungeons and Dragons theory for me. You know, if you're creating a new Dungeons and Dragons character, everyone
Right.
has their what do you call it? The
characteristics of their
traits
or whatever.
Yeah. Oh my God, there's a word for it.
I don't
But
know.
lawful good affiliation.
Yeah.
Is that it? I don't know.
yeah,
But
something like that.
you know,
I know what you're talking about.
you've got, good and evil are different than order and chaos. And that's what light and
Alignment,
void is,
yeah.
I think. Yeah, alignment. Thank you, alignment. Oh my goodness. But you can be evil and orderly. You know what I mean? And it seems
Sure.
like that's what the light is, more along those lines of like law and order, and so I don't know. It just seems to be that light and dark are more along that spectrum rather than just good and evil.
Yeah,
Sure.
So I mean, look at all the shadow priests out there. They're not evil.
that's a good point.
Not all of them.
I
most of
think
them.
most
Well,
of them
some
are.
of them.
I think most
There's
of
a
them
lot
are.
of Alliance ones
Hansi definitely is.
Hansi is. Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah, mostly just
I don't know about-
Alliance.
Yeah, just the alliance.
Right. And the
Yeah.
Alliance are the bad guys anyway. So
Just the
Exactly.
like
Yeah.
what we talked about.
Full
So,
circle.
right. Exactly. Coming around again. And so this week we have the second chapter in the story campaign, which, as far as I know, wasn't necessarily as shocking or, whatever. So I just kind of played through it and opened up some new areas, including McCree. Or how do we
yes.
pronounce it?
It's Macquarie.
It's Macquarie, because that's what
Macquarie.
Ian said.
Yes.
Makari is what Velen says, and he's from there.
But Ian is Velen's boss.
Right.
So
As we discussed before the show, Ian is
Yeah.
Velen's
I
boss,
concede.
so he's the game director.
so
Velen has to take
that's what he's saying then.
take his orders from the boss.
I have to say I feel for Velen though, because I'm from the Appalachian Mountains, and it's not Appalachian, it's Appalachian, and I'm from there, so I get to pronounce
Right.
Oh, you're from there?
it. Yeah.
You can't just be from there.
Where else am I from? You can't just be.
That's
I don't
funny.
know. I'm sorry.
I grew up here, man. I know how to say it. Appalachian.
Right.
Anyway,
So Pylon says in the chat that Ian said he was wrong in the forums when he
Yeah.
pronounced it, but we haven't heard the correction, have we?
No.
No, but
from
then
him.
he went back and said that he lied just
Because
to make
Velen
me
could
sad.
still be wrong.
I don't even know.
It just comes down to who are we going to trust here?
Right.
And I have
I
no
like
idea.
that. I like that perspective.
Yeah.
We can trust we can trust Ian. He's been getting these patches out 77 days, right? Velen, I don't know.
Right.
No, Velen, he hasn't been doing anything. Literally, every time I see Velen, he's like, hey, can you go do this for me? I'm going to stand right here. I could do it myself, but I need you to go and touch some stuff. Yeah, can you go grab me some things?
And as Illidan pointed out, he has failed his people and their blood are on his hands.
I know, yeah.
Right. At least in a couple of points, Velen was holding up a shield or something like that, to protect everybody, which was cool. I was like, all right, that's cool. I'll go do stuff because apparently you're busy. But if you're just going to stand there, I don't know.
Darius has been doing that move since back in Pandaria days, man. I've seen those pre-shields. That's nothing.
Yeah.
Velen's got nothing.
No, I don't like that guy. What's he ever done?
I think we've taken this too far.
Okay. Yes, I think so.
It's
become quite a silly show, this one.
I'm
just totally fine.
I'm having a good time.
Yeah, no, it's good. So also in this week, you unlock world quest areas in Raxus. I can't say it. And Makari. How are you saying it?
Macari. Let's just call it McCree forever.
Yeah. It's high.
We'll never be wrong.
But only in a Scottish accent, though. McCree.
Yeah. No, in the Western accent. So anyway, go ahead.
That place is really nice. We got to go there today.
McCree.
It opened up to McCree, yes, where it is always high noon, and it's a nice change from the Fell motif.
Yeah,
it's more spacey.
It kind of reminded me of Pandaria a little bit.
Really?
Kind of like the Eternal Blossoms area, like the main hub area in Pandaria. Just the colors and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then you have these nightmare beasts that come out and it's just like, with the 5 heads.
Facey.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That guy. That one.
Yeah. He's a cute dog.
He's my friend. He's a dog that has 5 faces.
Yeah, she's made up of the souls of children, and she's a nice dog. Have you seen her sitting down? It's adorable.
Creepy. Super creepy.
I don't know what you're talking about. But there's marsouls, which are adorable. They're like cat koala fish and talbuks and lots of ghosts. There's like chunks of city floating in the sky. It's gorgeous. Oh, I love it.
Hannah and I spent a lot of time going around taming, trying to find new things to tame today on McPlay.
Yeah.
So with her hunter, and she also she spent $1 million gold on trying to tame one of those Panthara pets as well.
Oh, man,
that was such a fiasco. I was going to talk about that earlier, but we're too far now. But yes, I feel for all you hunters.
What was she doing? You talk about it now.
You have to buy that meat, right? Yeah. To tame the Panthara pet, or you have to get it. And she was like, "Well, I'll just buy it in the auction house." She had a whole bunch of gold saved up. It was like 100,000 gold. She's like, "All right, I'll go buy a piece of meat." She goes and she throws it at the pet, and then somebody comes and kills the panther. And she's like, okay. Well, the other thing that she didn't know is you can't be in combat with the pet when you throw it. So if you face pull it and throw the meat, then it's not going to work.
Right.
To feign death.
Right.
How do you trap it? Yeah.
Right. So you have to trap it, feign death, and they even had, or you camo, trap it, feign death, throw the meat.
It can't just be easy.
No.
It's insanity. But she was finally able. Then so she goes back and buys another thing of meat. That's another 100,000 gold.
Mm-hmm.
She's out of gold now. Does it again? It dies again.
I'd be out of gold after the first 100,000.
She farms for the meat.
Yeah.
For like 5 hours. But this is after she called me at work, upset, and wanted me to like get on the phone with all my friends at Blizzard because she thinks I'm important and I'm not. Be like, have someone help me, Anyway, nope, that didn't work. Gets it again, throws it at the guy. It does. So she's like 6 hours and 200,000 gold into it. Finally, we watch a video on it, and we figure out how to do it. And she finds another thing of meat, and we go into. But it was just a total fiasco. So I feel you, hunters. Those of you that wanted that panther pet and lost time, gold, loved ones.
Loved ones.
to
Sanity.
taming that pet. I feel for you, man. I'm right there.
Right.
Wow.
Right.
It's nuts.
What an ordeal.
Yep. And we were kind of talking about this before the show a little bit, and when I was playing Hunter, Beast Mastery wasn't cool, so I didn't have to worry about taming those really awesome pets. And then I think it was Cataclysm. There was a bunch of new stuff that popped up that everybody's like, "Oh yeah, that's cool, that's great." And then everybody started playing Beastmaster again.
They
And
sure
you can have Thok as a pet.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's like
Yeah, that is cool.
Back
That's
in the day,
that's cool.
if I may.
Yeah.
Back in Wrath, I was a Beast Mastery hunter, and I was after Skull. And that's the like lightning wolf, and it was the new model that just came out, so he's like
Right.
extra cool. So everybody was after him, and I was in the spawn location. There was another hunter. He was there before me, so I'm like, okay, buddy, I'll just I'll help you out. I'll keep an eye on it. I'm trustworthy. I am. So we're waiting for it, and it takes like a while. I get to know him a little bit because we're Horde, we're friendly.
Sure.
And so Skull finally shows up, and he's like, "Ugh!" So he's in the process of taming it. I'm looking at the hearts. He's doing the thing. I'm like, this is it. Like, he's got it. This is great. Then 2 night elves, I still can't figure out how they did this, drop from the sky and kill Skull right in front of him.
Oh,
And then kill him and then kill me. And dude, like, he doesn't res. He's standing there dead.
Oh.
And he whispered me, and he's like, I'm never playing this game again. And he logs off.
Oh my gosh.
And it was awful.
And
I
his
felt
corpse
so
is still
bad.
there today.
Most likely.
Oh my.
The dude had been there for 2 days.
That's horrible.
So,
oh, man.
All right.
yeah.
Oh man.
Horde for life. Just saying.
That's the best story I've ever heard.
Mm-hmm.
That's so trolly.
That is.
Yeah.
That's nice.
It was. I audibly gasped when it happened. Like it was,
I did spend most of my day tagging mobs from Horde players though today. Like as they were trying to do quests and stuff, I would just tag mobs and
You're just the worst kind of person.
They had a high respawn weight.
Sure.
They'll
Yeah.
get over it.
Just keep telling yourself that.
that's terrible. 2 days. Oh my god.
That is pretty bad. All right, let's get back into these days with patch 7.3, week 2. Now we also have another thing that's that we have access to, and the big thing, or things, I guess, invasion points and greater invasion points. I'm just calling them rifts. Should we just call them
Sure.
rifts?
Yeah.
That's pretty much what they are.
Right. So, Thyst, what are the? Let's start off with the regular invasion points. What are
Okay.
these
The
things?
regular rift.
Yeah.
So they're gonna pop up. They'll allow anywhere from 3 to 10 players within the instance to join, and while you can enter alone, you probably want to go in with friends. So what does it drop? It just drops like regular stuff. Like it's not a big gear grab like the greater invasion points.
Right.
I think
Sorry,
it's more
rifts.
I think it's more for like rep and probably
Yeah.
whatever the new rocks, whatever that we
Yeah,
get.
the Argonite, yeah.
Argonite, yeah. New
Yeah.
rocks.
New
Those are
rocks.
new rocks.
New rocks, everybody.
But and how often do they come up? It's like I don't remember.
It seems like they're around. So I mean, you can go into them, grab them, and then there's a timer on the map when you look at the map. So you should be able to figure out how much time is left on any of those invasion points. So that's always nice. And then the greater invasion points, these or the greater rifts, because
Rifts.
sure, these are going to be. You're going to need to go in with a team, with your raid team, and go in and get loot that way. And it drops 930 gear.
Yes.
Is that what it is?
With a chance to Titan Forge to 955.
That's
Wow.
nuts.
It is crazy.
Yeah, and they're going to be active every week and last until the weekly reset. And there's 6 in total, so every time you go in, you're on a different planet.
Right.
So, yeah.
And that's the other cool part is that because Argus is kind of like this whole thing about, these different what would you call them? Different portals and stuff like that. You just jump in and you go to a different planet and you go and try to beat up some big bads over there.
That's what we do.
Right.
If they're not coming to us, we go to them.
We are going to them over and over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
We go to Argus and then we go to the other different little planets and beat them up.
Yeah, and I just think that's really cool because it's 6 completely different bosses in different worlds with like different world mechanics that we're gonna have to figure out, and it's just like a completely unprecedented raid experience, and I love that. Like it's just another way that 7.3 has just like raised the bar for so much content and so many new things and like all these little nuances and stuff.
I always kind of look at this stuff and I'm not saying that it's not cool because I really do think it's cool. I just wonder about whether or not these greater invasion points are going to be a point of argument for a lot of the mythic raiders and so on, saying that that's one more thing that they have to do each week or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So is this going to be another thing that I have to do each week on top of all the other things? Because it just seems to be like this pile of stuff that mythic players and those players that want to be competitive no matter what they play, whether it's heroic or normals or whatever. If you feel like you're a competitive player and you want to do all the things, this is another thing that you have to put onto the pile of stuff that Legion has kind of brought forth. And good or bad, I guess it's still going to be a part of the system. So I guess we got to deal with it either way.
Yeah, but at the same time, like the stuff on Argus is a little more advanced, and the drops are a little higher than they are on the Broken Shore, the Broken Isles. So, like, if you're really concerned with staying on top of things, like I don't feel like letting go of some of the world quests on the Broken Isles would be bad. Like you just you can supplement it with this stuff,
and especially because now you have world quests available to you on Argus after this week, then it should be more manageable.
Yeah, fine. And it's like, if you have a problem with more fun game stuff, then what's your problem?
Well, unless of course you're hunting legendaries, then you need to do all this stuff. So,
yeah, that's true.
Then you're really screwed.
Yeah.
Or if you have an alt or something like that you're trying to gear up and all that kind of stuff. Oof.
That's why I don't have alts. I don't have any.
Man, I have
too many.
I have my DK, which is 110. I have Shaman, and my Hunter is real close, and then my Demon Hunter is also close-ish to 110.
Wow.
So
I'm pretty sure all of my characters are alts.
Boy.
Well, you play them.
Sure
you certainly play them like they're all alts.
Exactly. Hey, I was just looking at Invasion. So they work on a scenario system, so you don't have to have a group.
No, not for the the little ones. For the regular ones, you're fine. You can just jump in and start, and it will pair you together with people.
Well, that's what they're saying for the greater invasions too.
So maybe it's like you have to wait for a raid-sized group.
You may have to.
If it says greater invasion points are designed for raid, but you won't need a group, as the scenario system will do it for you! Exclamation point.
So all right, all you have to do is walk through a portal.
In.
Loving it,
right?
And I think that it's accessible. That's something that WoW, ever since they added the group finder tool.
Yeah, and it's been great on Argus lately. Yep. It's just like there's rares and bosses galore, and like quests that are it's difficult to walk around on Argus, which I think is absolutely wonderful. Like I love when there's a challenge involved with regular questing for everyday stuff. Like I'm fairly geared, but I can still die no problem despite my best effort.
Right.
But it's neat because you just like walk up to a rare or a boss that you need, and then you look in the group finder, and there's definitely going to be 3 or 4 people. It's only going to take a second, and then it's down. And maybe you meet nice people, and maybe you don't. But it's fine.
I just go into bear form, and I'm just like, I'll just tank it. It's fine. and then
I
just
got
wait
this.
just wait for people to show up and kill it.
Yeah.
Whatever it is.
Oh yeah.
Except for
'cause
that Fell Reaver walking around.
Don't
Oof.
bother. He doesn't drop anything. I
Oof.
tried. Not worth.
It was so sad. We got a group of people together to kill it. Yeah, and we finally, and it just.
Yeah. It's just nothing.
Nothing.
It's nothing. No.
I don't think it did that in what's the place in Hellfire. I don't think it
No.
dropped.
I don't think it dropped
there
anything either. No, it's just a scary.
I remember-
giant
Not really
thing.
fair.
I remember going back there probably during Cataclysm or something, and just like one-shotting it, and I just kept on doing it. I kept on finding him, just one-shotting him.
See if you can
Just-
find like
just payback.
jerk.
Just
it
payback for
if it
sneaking up
randomly
on me.
dropped. If it randomly dropped a mount that no one has ever felt, like it was such a low
Such a-
drop rate,
Super rare mount. Yeah.
and and Blizzard never said anything
No.
about it, and they're just like sitting back, like
Nope. That wasn't-
Medson's like somewhere,
that
just
wasn't
like
it.
waiting, just
That wasn't it.
waiting for it.
But
to
it's like
happen
the
in
worst
its
mount
game.
ever. It
Right.
doesn't go very
It's
fast.
the worst
And
mount.
like you can't walk 5 steps without getting like dismounted for no reason.
That'd be
Right,
that
and
would
it
be
says
super awesome.
it's flying, and it'll start flying, and then
Yeah.
it'll just
And then-
cancel flying,
and then
it'll
you get
just
a
stop
note, and
flying.
then you have to
Yeah,
go
just die.
to some weird raid instance. Yep.
In
Yeah.
order to get it to fly again,
Yep.
you have to do a quest line that's going to take you.
Okay.
Yeah.
We are going
And-
down weird pathways.
And it looks like the Fell Reaver, but smaller, and it sits on your shoulders instead.
Oh, that'd be great. That'd be great.
It's your head
It's
comes
like-
off, and it's actually sitting in your head.
It's like Cho'Gall carrying the horse in
Yeah,
Heroes of the
exactly.
Storm. Yep. Exactly.
Oh wow!
So that's all the stuff for this week, and chat actually confirmed our silly presumptions of yes, it will actually. You just go in, it will form a group for you, so it'll be fine. It'll be
Right.
fine for those greater rifts. And
I left looking for Rift.
looking for Rift. And next week we will see the new dungeon will come out and the Nether regions.
Like-
What is it? The Nether?
Netherlight
Netherlight
Crucible.
Yeah, that one. The Nether
Nether
the
regions.
Nether
We're gonna
regions.
see the Nether regions
Yeah.
next
We're
week.
gonna see.
We're gonna see Illidan's Nether regions in chapter 3 of the story. No.
That's all like
See
he
how
sees them.
corrupted they are.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, well, I'm done.
All right. Anything
Staring
else?
into the void, as it were.
Stare into the void.
Anything else for? Boy,
You
this
were
is a
not
very,
prepared.
very silly show. So with that,
Okay, we're back.
With that, we're gonna maybe move on. We're gonna try to move on and talk about something completely different. How about Overwatch?
Oh, this is my jam.
Yeah. And this week, so Overwatch, last week we had the May cinematic come out, or I'm sorry, for Gamescom we had the May cinematic come out. We also found out about Junktown, right? The new map that's going to be coming, and the Junker Queen. Found out
Yes.
there's a queen, and she's already like. They're talking about new hero.
Do you think
Junker
it
Queen.
would
Everybody wants to see
Be
Junker
that
Queen.
obvious?
Well, they had like a voice line and stuff like that, so obviously they think, oh yeah, it's not just a thing; it's gonna be
Yeah.
whatever.
But there's a poster in Junkertown that has a picture of her. Like you can see her. You can see what weapon she's holding. There's even like cosplayers
Mhm.
cosplaying as her now.
Yep.
But like I think that's too easy.
It is too easy. If anything, we're gonna see her like way down the road, right?
Yeah.
So
Mind
kinda
you,
like-
at BlizzCon, there
Go
were
ahead.
cosplayers cosplaying as Tracer the day they announced Overwatch. Like
well,
20 minutes after, and all of a sudden you're like, "How did you build that? How did
I
you do
need
that?"
yellow
I know.
spandex right now.
I think that was Blizzard doing that actually.
I know they sure
Uh,
they contacted
so-
their own cosplay, but anyway, it was happening. It was there.
Yep.
Boom, boom. They're
Yep.
on it.
Yep. And so, yeah, I think that it might play out like Doomfist a little bit, where we didn't see him for a long time until, because they released it, I think it was like 1 or 2 heroes before him, and we were all like, Doomfist is coming next. Tomorrow, that's going to be the big announcement. No, it's not Doomfist.
No,
Wow.
it's not good.
So we have that. We're actually going to have a new Roadhog comic coming out tomorrow, and what's it called? We know what it's going to be called. I think it's Wasted Land, something
Think
like
so.
that.
I'm looking forward to
Wasted
that
Land.
because every time we get like a glimpse into a Roadhog's life, he doesn't say anything. It's always Junkrat talking. And they've already been in a comic before, and he didn't say anything there either. It'd be interesting. Do you think we'll get to see his face?
Ooh. As long as it's not that, like, one of his skins is that pig face.
Yeah.
Not that one.
I don't want that, no.
If it's not,
what if he's really handsome?
That would be quirky.
Odd? Oh, yeah. Quirky.
Sure. Either way. So
I already think he's really handsome.
Aw.
He's my favorite.
He's one of my favorites as well.
Because I don't have to aim. I just hit my ult and just shoot everything. You're supposed to aim. I'm sure it helps, but
helps a little.
Hey, and another thing that came out today actually was, I put the link in, but I didn't put the title in on the notes, was that they actually came up with the behind the scenes of the May cinematic and talking about kind of the importance of story with Overwatch. And so, like, all three of these things, we have the Junker Queen, we have the new Roadhog comic, we have the behind the scenes on the May cinematic, and it's all kind of all about story in Overwatch that isn't in Overwatch. And it's
have to check that out.
And it's like they made a concerted effort to make sure to do these things because they knew that they wouldn't be able to do them in game. And so they were like, all right, well, let's just kind of play around outside a game and see what people think. And apparently people think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, how brilliant was that? I know I've known people and I've seen people online, multiple people who don't play the game at all. They're just so in love with the story and like the entire Overwatch backstory and all of the characters. And since the character cast is so diverse, like it's not difficult for people to sort of, pick one that sort of speaks to them, maybe represents who they are, kind of thing, and or at least they can cosplay as. But it's always been the story, and it was the story from the beginning, and it was the story that made Chris Metzen cry at BlizzCon that year. Remember, like twice or three times.
Yeah.
Like that's I think, like, obviously with amazing game design and development and gameplay, Overwatch is so popular with people who have never been, super crazy about Blizzard games to begin with, which I think we'll see this year at BlizzCon. It's always just been the story, and that's been the real heart of the entire game.
It is odd that a game that has very little story behind it. I mean, you kind of get a sense of things, and you can kind of see some things through the map design and all that kind of stuff, but you don't. And you kind of get a sense for these characters a little bit through the game, through their interactions, their voice lines and stuff like that. But the lore is so deep for Overwatch, so deep, and they keep on doing this amazing slow release of more and more stuff. And I'm just like, yeah, just pile it on. Let's go.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go. I just want to know more.
And it's cool when you play and you're privy to all this, because then the maps that you play, like, you start seeing things that make sense and are really cool and interesting. And like, like with King's Row, there's so much history in that map. But, if you don't know about it, then it's just a cool map. But if you do, it's like, oh, this is where that guy got shot. That's where he got assassinated. And look at all the graffiti and like the strife between the Omnics and humans. It's just so cool. And that's just what Blizz does. They're good storytellers.
I guess all those years is the Titan project really paid off because they got their story together.
Mm-hmm.
So there.
So cool. I'm just astounded. Like, I'm sitting back like,
I mean, like when you think about World of Warcraft, World of Warcraft has an amazing storyline as well. But they tell their story sequentially. So they bring you to a new place and then they talk about that place. With Overwatch, you've been in this place for a while and now you're discovering new things about it through the different cinematics and comics and all that other kind of stuff. So it's a different way to do a story, and it's really phenomenal. I applaud Blizzard for such a thing.
I'm actually doing a research project at work on this very thing, like
Really?
video games telling stories. Yeah. It's and it's so like this. There's so much right now, just coming from Blizzard. But I mean, look at all the different stories. I could go on forever, but it's a really, really interesting thing. Once I get my article written, I will be sharing it with you all. But it's,
and
I'm loving it.
And Greer Reaver in chat says their storytelling had really tightened up these last few years. Here's my response to you.
You dipstick.
Mm-hmm. So there. Anything else about these cinematics and other things from the Overwatch team?
I've said it before. I'll say it again. They need to make a TV show. They need to make a TV show, and I'll watch it forever. They need to make a TV show,
like baby Overwatch, all of them as babies.
Well, like Muppet Babies?
Yeah, like Muppet Babies. But it'll all be
Overwatch Babies.
And then the nanny will actually be Soldier 76 when he was only Soldier 34.
He just turns to the kids. We're all soldiers now.
Right.
I can work with that.
Exactly.
No, like Star Wars Rebels or something. I need it. I need it to happen.
And Anna just hanging out. They're like they're
mommy and daddy.
They're watching the Overwatch babies.
I want to see Baby Roadhog in like just a diaper, just a big fat baby, but he's still got his Roadhog mask, and he's still like. All
right,
animal.
We are moving on to Hearthstone.
Well met.
Yes, just real quick. We have some upcoming balance changes for druids and other folks as they kind of change some stuff around. Apparently, there were a couple of cards that were out of balance, like Innervate for druids, Fiery War Axe, Hex, Murloc War Leader, which is a great card. I love my Murloc deck, and he is key in that. And Spreading Plague, and I think there might be some other cards in there too. But sounds like they're rebalancing a little bit.
I was going to say, I can TLDR this real quick for you, Pat.
Go ahead.
Blizzard hates you and doesn't want you to play the game anymore.
Perfect. Moving on.
I can't see Ben Brode saying that, though.
No, right?
I can see him singing it, maybe. Rapping it.
He would sing it, and then he would...
Welcome to Ungoro.
Oh, man. No, I'm a little heavy-handed with it. I don't know. I'm sad because I have really been enjoying poning noobs with my druid, and this is taking a lot of cards that have been working really, really well the entire life of the game, and now they're a little overpowered, and so they have to alter some things. And I mean, things change.
Gonna have to get good all over again.
Yep,
I know.
Yep, you're gonna.
I'll just go back. I just go back to Secret Paladin and do that again.
All right.
If they could buff Patron Warrior again, then I'll play that. Can we bring Patron Warrior back? I guess it's only in Wild now, too.
We can do that, but you have to go through Patreon to do it. So.
Wait,
hold on a sec. I need one too.
You dipstick.
Yeah.
Now you guys are even.
That's
Making
right.
me the victor.
All right.
Default.
So this is all upcoming balance changes for Hearthstone, and I'm sure that we'll get more from John Horseman as we get closer to the actual launch of this. So just be aware and beware of these changes coming soon to a druid near you. Okay.
Hearthstone, doing what they do best, killing your favorite cards and making them unplayable.
Oh,
ooh, salt.
Right. no salt there whatsoever.
Sorry, Ben. I love you, Ben Brode.
Tea.
All right, let's go to Heroes of the Storm.
Turned up to 11.
Yes. All right. Now, KT is live, which is very, very nice. I know that a lot of people are really happy about that, so I'll play the big applause. And we actually have a new event released today, which is Obey the Call, where you could slay heroes in Kel'Thuzad's name to earn in-game rewards before the event concludes on September the 25th. So more loot boxes.
I want in-game rewards.
Yeah.
I want loot boxes.
Yeah.
That sounds great.
I'm guessing it's loot boxes. I haven't done this yet, but
Never have I.
I'm guessing it's loot boxes. Now, Shark, I know you've been playing a lot of WoW lately. Have you played any heroes? Have you
not played a lot of heroes? And the truth behind that matter is, I've joined the dark side, and I'm officially a Sith at this point. One of our friends on Convert to Raid, Ross Sparky, he got me into playing League of Legends.
Oh, what?
I know. It's so bad. It's crack. I can't
Why
stop.
do you hate yourself?
I don't know. And I do. I just yell all the time. My girlfriend hates it. She's like, just stop playing that game. You'll have to go to the doctor and get more blood pressure medication. And I'm like, I know, but I need to. No. I've been into it. But I've been playing a little bit of heroes here and there. Not as much. And I'm going to get into it again. I really want to start playing again now that KT is here, but I haven't had a chance to play today. But the new Obey the Call event, all you have to do is you have to do all these things, but in order. The first thing you have to do, and you get a portrait for this,
okay,
is you have to play a game with KT on your team. So you have to play a game. Because if you log in a quick match right now, somebody's going to be playing Kel'Thuzad. It's going to happen.
Obviously.
100%. So that's the first thing you have to do. Play a game. And technically, KT has to be on one, your team or the other. The next thing, you have to achieve 30 takedowns in winning games. That I believe that is shared takedowns for your team. I don't think you have to get the kill shot.
So it should
for
be
real?
pretty
That's
easy.
so easy.
I think, but I could be wrong.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sure. But the way that Here's the Storm works, I believe that it would just be, or at least you have to be maybe present or active in the takedown. But I feel like they wouldn't want you to have the kill shot, because what if you're playing support?
Well,
That's kinda lame.
Solomio in chat says that it is shared.
It is shared. Okay,
Because-
so there's
Yes.
kills
reasonable.
and assists equal a takedown. Thank you, Draven Dressen. Great. That's good. And then so you have to do that, and then after that you have to get 60, and then after that you have to get 90, and at 90 you'll get the KT portrait and the next Rammus Warcrest banner.
So
And you get after
Loot.
30 you get an Acolyte portrait. For 60 you get a Necromancer portrait and a spray. Troll spray. It's the next Necromancer's Blight spray. And then after 90 you get the KT portrait and the banner.
Cool.
But the only other thing is that I read somewhere, and I might be 100% wrong on this, but let me double check, that you have to win the game for those takedowns to count. Winning games, that's correct. So you have to achieve 30 takedowns, but only in games that you win. So if you lose the game, even if you had 50 kills, they don't count.
okay.
Awesome.
So you have to win
That's-
the game. So you can't just go in and,
All right. I'm
But-
ready.
and throw a
When
game.
are we doing this, guys? When are we doing
Right now?
Are we going right now?
Yeah.
we
Right
gotta-
now?
Well, let's finish the show first, and then we'll come back to it.
Oh, okay. Okay.
At least you don't
But
have
you
to
have-
like put in binary codes and pull levers and get
I
a
know.
mask and talk to a chair and then fall in a
Talk to
hole.
a chair.
And write your
Fall
own
down a
names.
hole. Right.
But you do
And then
have until
Click
September
on
25th.
some bones.
So
Yeah.
Right.
you have 3 weeks, roughly to get all this done. So if you're playing on a semi-regular basis,
Yeah.
you should not have
Should-
too big of a problem.
Should be okay.
Yeah. These HOTS endeavors have always been extremely reasonable. Even as somebody like I don't play that often. What was that mount called? The Fire Cat, with the fire wings, but doesn't fly.
Mhm.
It took like 3 hours of nonstop quick play, but I
Mhm.
did it. It was
Right.
reasonable. It was
And
nice.
you can do this in versus AI
Right.
if you want to.
Right.
It
Perfect.
can be done.
You
You
can
just
do
have
it
to make sure that you're
In any
winning.
mode. Any mode. So you can do it in versus AI and do it easy mode and get it done. So there. Don't even worry
Just do it
about it.
with friends, because then
Yeah.
it's fun.
Right.
If you do it with random people, it's not going to be fun.
That is correct.
It's not going to be as fun. I have some fun with random people.
You sure about that?
No, I don't.
Yeah,
No,
I've been playing League.
I really, really don't.
Anything in Here's the Storm is going to be fun compared to League, to be
That's
completely
true.
honest with you.
Yes. That is probably true. All right.
I'm so disappointed in you, and we just met.
I know it's a real shame. But it's the truth. I've got to be myself. I got to be me.
Well, and you really
Gotta
have
be
to come
fake.
back to Heroes because now season 3 is live, right? So
I know, and I can get gold or silver -3 again.
Yay!
So salty. I'm just so sad about. I'm so sad about my video gaming.
I'm just gonna play
The
the
whole salt thing
yeah.
makes sense now.
I'll just play the salty video, and then you can.
And it was oddly when I joined the show that Pat started doing this salt video. I'm wondering if that had a correlation or not.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe League is making it worse. Did you ever think about that?
Yeah.
There is a different persona that comes out. My raid team has started talking about League Sharku. Like,
right.
If League Sharku rears his ugly head, watch out because it's bad. It's just bad. I can't even talk about how terrible it is.
Okay.
Shark's a hero's traitor. This group.
So I think that covers all of the Heroes news and Shark's saltiness just in general pretty completely. So we'll go to, and I don't have a sounder for this. I really need a sounder for this. Real quick, Destiny 2, it's out on console. But you know what? It doesn't matter. I'm waiting until PC to actually talk about it. It needs to be on the Battlenet launcher, and then I'll talk about it again.
PC is better than console.
Yes, PC is better than console, as this shirt says. So
the T-shirt has spoken.
The T-shirt has spoken. So I'm just going to ignore it. The beta was really fun, though. I liked it. That's all I got.
It's okay.
I liked it. Well, I liked it a lot better than the console. That's for sure. I like it a lot better. All right, now we'll move on to real quick eSports.
Gotta love that.
Sure. And this one is about Overwatch League. We had a pro player, get drafted, and he is going to sign a contract for $150K a year. And for that, I think I need to do this. Boom. He's also 17.
Good for him.
I know.
That violates child labor laws. I don't think we should allow that to go through.
Well, no, it's okay. His mom signed the contract.
Signed the work permit.
Yeah. His mom.
Darn it. I was
involved.
hoping maybe I was the next person on the list for
Mom,
the 150K contract.
Mom, just let me play some video games. I'm gonna make
Like video games for
$150K
my
this
life.
year. Yeah.
We'll give you $150,000 for it, man.
Right. So
Sometimes, though, competitive Overwatch is quite labor intensive.
Oh
I
no.
mean,
Sometimes
the sweat
it should be.
is real.
there's
Right.
no question that those guys work harder than I do. Like I'm proud of the work I do at my job, but man,
Yep.
it's they're playing. It's ridiculous.
So this kid, this 17-year-old kid, Sinatra, who's one of the best in the world, of course. It was kind of a bidding war, and he got $100,000 over the minimum. The minimum, remember, for Overwatch League is $50,000
$50K.
A year, which is amazing in the first place that you could just play Overwatch in the Overwatch League and get $50K, which is great for esports. I mean, that's super. That's like a lot. It's like good, solid pay for a kid to play video games. And for this 17-year-old, he's getting triple that. So,
That's good, solid pay. That puts you in like the top tax bracket. Like that's
well,
I love that.
great money.
50K doesn't, but 150K
Or
definitely does.
150K. Oh yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it's. Oh yeah, and 50K. I just.
That's
I like that they're
good
throwing
living.
the big bucks around because it legitimizes esports so much, you know?
right. Right.
And I love that. Like I want esports to be as important, as celebrated, as normal as sports are
Right.
in the media.
Right.
And this is
And
fantastic
mind
for
you,
that.
the top contract in the NFL is something like 70 million or some ridiculous
Yeah,
garbage.
that's ridiculous.
But that's that.
$150,000 a year to play a video game is absolutely a respectable number, and something that other sports, there are people that play other professional sports that don't get paid that much.
Sure. Well, I mean, NFL, the early days of the NFL, we're talking like, what, 50s,
Yeah, but back
early
then
60s?
it cost a nickel to buy a house, Pat.
Right.
I'm just-
I
Welcome
know.
to my nickel house.
I know, but I mean, these guys didn't really make a lot of money to begin
No,
with.
it's true.
And so,
It's
I mean,
true.
you got to let it build up. And it's good to see, number one, you have owners of pro sports teams already buying into Overwatch League and saying, yes, this is important. So we're gonna make sure to fund this.
It's a huge investment, and people are committing to it.
Yeah,
that's
right.
Awesome.
Right.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
And I was talking with, so a couple of weeks when I was back at Blizzard HQ, I was talking with Laura about it, and he's like, yeah, we got to figure out, you know, I mean, they're kind of figuring it out with Overwatch League, but they got to figure out kind of the rest of esports. And I'm like, do what Overwatch is doing, slow it down, pay them money, and you will find that actually it will probably work itself out. You know, if you slow down the gameplay and put it into seasons, and kind of like NFL where you have, you know, Sunday, that's your day. That's your day to watch football, right? Not a weekend for a whole tournament when you have to watch, you know, 16, 20 games or whatever. And
at 5 in the
all that
morning.
kind of stuff. So yeah, at 5 in the morning.
Hard.
No, that's horrible. I am totally with you on that. At 5 in the morning.
Good.
So yeah, I mean, slow it down, make teams pay their players, and put some thought into this stuff instead of just kind of throwing it out into the ether.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That's
They'll
my
figure it
rant for
out.
the night.
Good rant.
I have real hope for Overwatch League, whereas the rest of esports, I'm like going, what are you guys doing?
It'll catch. I think they'll be able to figure it out. But you've got a point. You've got to make it more like there's a reason why sports work. There's a reason they do the things they do. The professional leagues are organized in a particular way, and it's because they work.
Yeah.
So we're spreading that out, doing that sort of thing. We'll see. I think Overwatch League is, and I think that's what's getting people to buy into it, is because they're like, oh yeah, this is like regular sports. Yeah. Because it is a regular sport, and I'm going to keep pronouncing it that way. Regular sport.
Regular sport.
Regular.
Right.
Yep.
It's a regular sport. You play with your thumbs. We got this. Let's do it.
Yep.
The Blizz usually like learns from its own games, you know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm hoping that they really do this, because and I wish them only the greatest success in Overwatch League, and hopefully they will learn a lot from it and be able to build more esport stuff like that. Because
if it works,
I have good
it will
hope
open
for
the
it.
door. It will open the door for other esports. It will open the door for MOBAs.
For other
It'll
big
open
name
the door.
esports.
Right. Absolutely.
Yep.
I think.
And I hope that the arena to watch it live at BlizzCon is much bigger this year than it was last year, so that people don't get thrown out.
More than
turned
6
away.
people can fit in. That's what we're really wanting, Blizz, please. More than 6.
It was a cool arena, though.
Oh yeah.
It was really cool.
I wish I could have
small.
seen it.
Yeah. You had to go there during the opening.
I stood in line for 2 hours and went, screw this, I'm playing video games. And
you had to go there during the Mike Morhaime speech at the very, very beginning.
Right.
Before anything
that was
actually
the only way
happened.
to get in. And then camp and never leave.
Right. Exactly. All right. I think that does it for the show. Does anybody have anything else before we get the heck out of Dodge?
I had a great time tonight, guys.
Well,
Me too.
I did too. Thanks, guys. That was really a lot of fun. And the chat room was chatting away and participating, and it was really great to see everybody just having a good old time tonight. And thank you guys for joining us. Guys, why don't you talk about what you've got coming up and how people can get a hold of you? Shark, you've got a special project coming up.
Yeah, I've been working with some guys from Asparagus Initiative, Shoe Boots and Jared. I make fun of it because it's Shoe Boots, Sharku, and Jared. But we have a podcast that's called, oh my God, what's the name of the podcast?
Oh, totally forgot about it.
Jumped my brain. It's, oh no. Hold on.
We have a podcast.
Oh my God, it's Merely a Setback. Merely a Setback is the name of the podcast.
Wait.
How appropriate.
What is it?
Merely a Setback.
Merely a setback.
To play on the meme,
Got it.
the Kel'Thas meme.
And it's more about the lore of Warcraft and kind of playing around with that.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's a WoW podcast, but we're focusing on lore, story, character, story analysis, weird dorky stuff. We're just gonna break apart all the stories and stuff, sort of kind of like what we did today on this show. But be looking for that. Well, at least part of it. But be looking for that. It's called, once again, Merely a Setback. Merely a Setback. They named the show.
Okay.
I keep
All right.
forgetting the name.
All right.
Awesome.
But it's going to be really, really cool. And you can find
Awesome.
me on Twitch, Sharku_CTR, and on Twitter, Sharku_CTR. I'll be just streaming, tweeting, doing whatever. I love you guys. We'll have fun. Thanks. Bye.
All right. And and Thyst.
I have to follow that up?
How about you? You get to follow that up?
Oh, great.
Mm-hmm.
Well, at least I remember the name of my show. No, I'm just kidding.
Nice.
No, hi, I'm Thyst. I'm from the Lagging Balls podcast.
Yep.
We do a weekly Blizzard podcast. We cover everything except StarCraft. It's quite explicit, but it's very positive. And I invite you to listen to it, I guess. We also started a few weeks ago the LB stream. We stream on Fridays at 10 p.m. EST, and we just discuss things. Last week, we finished part 1 of our discussion about how we would hook up with Overwatch characters in great detail. I think it went over really well. Yeah.
Wow.
So, looking forward to finishing that off. But you can find all that at laggingballs.com, and you can find me on Twitter at Thyst03.
I don't know. That just hit me weird.
Yeah, it did.
Yep, it did. And for me, I don't know. I've got Podcast Launchpad. That's the other project that I've been working on for a while, and it's podcastlaunchpad.com. If you're into podcasting and want to know more about how to podcast, and if you want to say podcast in a sentence more than 5 times, go to podcastlaunchpad.com and get my free guide on equipment and what all the things that you need to put up a show. And it's a pretty quick read, but it has a lot of stuff in it. And there's a podcast, there's a blog, there's a Facebook group, all that kind of stuff. Go check it out. And you can check me out on Twitter at Pat Crane with a K. Okay, I'm gonna bail on that. Just bail on that.
Just gonna bail on it.
Yep. And I'm going to play this one. There we go. You can join in our conversations at any point. You can email us at convertraid@gmail.com. You can call and leave comments and questions on our raid line, 612-787-RAID. That's 612-787-7243. And make sure to join the Bazooba Guabu Nation by heading over to convertraid.com. That's where we have show downloads, Discord infos, videos, audios, guild stuffs, and more. It's all over at convertraid.com. And really, that's the main thing. So just go there. If you ever want to find out anything about ConvertRaid, convertrade.com. Okay, we're also on Apple Podcasts, YouTube, everywhere on the internet. Yep, just look us up. It's good. Convert to Raid is produced and distributed by Signals Media. Make sure to check out all of our friends on the Signals Media All-Star Network at signalsmedia.com. That's going to be it for the show, guys. Thank you, Thyst. Thank you, Shark. Thank you, Twitch chat. And thank you, no matter where you're listening to us. We really do appreciate it. And for all the folks here at Convert to Raid, we'll see you next time. Bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.